Sa videong ito ay pag-aaralan naman natin ng tungkol sa properties of real numbers. In performing operations on integers, there are properties which we apply. For this lesson, I'll be using A, B, and C to denote or represent integers. The first property is the closure property of addition and multiplication. So, sa ginawa ko, hinati ko na yung aking board into two operation, yung addition at saka multiplication. So, for the closure property of addition, it simply states that the sum of any two integer is an integer denoted by A plus B, wherein A and B are both integers. For example, 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. 1 and 3 are positive integers. Therefore, the sum 4 is also an integer. Another example, negative 8 plus negative 9 is equal to negative 17. Negative 8 and negative 9 are both negative integers, which makes their sum, negative 17, also a negative integer. For multiplication, the product of any two integers is an integer, denoted by A times B, wherein A and B is an integer. For example, 1 times 3 is equal to 3. The factors 1 and 3 are both positive integers, which makes their product 3 a positive integer as well. Another is negative 8 times negative 9, which gives us the product of 72. Negative 8 and negative 9 are both integers, which makes their product 72 also an integer. Number 2, the commutative property of addition and the commutative property of multiplication. In addition, changing the order of the addends does not affect the sum, denoted by A plus B is the same as B plus A. For example, if you were given 2 plus 5, arranging the order, it will become 5 plus 2. Both arrangement will give us the sum 7. The arrangement did not affect the sum. Another, if you were given negative 8 plus 4, changing the order of the addends, it will become 4 plus negative 8. The result is negative 4. For the commutative property of multiplication, changing the order of the factors does not affect the product, denoted by A times B is the same as B times A. For example, 2 times 5, arranging the order, it will become 5 times 2. The product of both arrangements is 10. Another example, negative 8 times 4. Changing the order, it will become 4 times negative 8. The result of both arrangement is negative 32. So, for both addition and multiplication, the order did not affect the product and sum. Third property is the associative property of addition and the associative property of multiplication. The associative property of addition simply states that changing the groupings of the addend does not change the sum, denoted by quantity A plus B plus C is equal to A plus quantity B plus C. For example, quantity 2 plus 3 plus 4, changing the groupings of the numbers 2 plus quantity 3 plus 4. As you can see, yung pagkakaiba lang naman yan is yung arrangement. If you're going to solve this, syempre, ang ipa-follow natin ay yung PEMDAS. Let's start na isolve ito dun muna sa mga nasa loob ng parentheses. So, let's start dun sa left side. So, 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4. And on the right side, we'll have copy 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 7. So, kung nakikita nyo, sa solution, magkaiba sila. Yung left side ay 5 plus 4 and yung right side naman ay 2 plus 7. But look at the answer. If you'll add 5 plus 4, it will give you 9. And in adding 2 plus 7, it will also give you 9. So, kung nakikita ninyo, kahit na pinagpalit natin yung grupo ng mga numbers at nagkaiba man sila ng solution, pero sa dulo, pareha pa rin sila ng answer. So, yan po ang associative property of addition. Changing the groupings of the addends does not change the sum. In multiplication, changing the groupings of the factors does not change the product, denoted by quantity A times B times C is the same as A times quantity B times C. For example, let's say you were given 2 times 3 times 4. If you are going to arrange the factors, it will become 2 times 3 times 4. Let's have the solution and the answer. Let's start solving yung mga nasa loob muna ng mga parentheses. So, let's multiply first 2 and 3. So, 2 times 3 is 6. And then times 4. While on the right side, you'll have copy 2 and then multiply 3 and 4, which gives us 12. Nung sinimplify natin yung mga nasa loob ng parentheses, binigyan tayo ng magkaibang factor. So, we have 6 times 4 and 2 times 12. But if you multiply yung mga numbers na to, it will still give you 24. Pinalitan man natin yung groupings ng number, the same result lang yung binigay sa atin. This property works also for the negative numbers. So, kunyari ang binigay sa inyo for addition is ganito. So, quantity negative 4 plus negative 2 plus 3. So, ang lalabas kapag nire-group natin is negative 4 plus quantity negative 2 plus 3. To compare yung both na arrangement, gagawin ulit natin yung ginawa kanina, which is unahin mo nang isolve yung mga nasa loob ng parentheses or brackets. So, let's start dun sa left side. So, negative 4 plus negative 2. Since same sign sila, ang magiging sagot dyan is negative 6. And then copy positive 3 is equal to negative 4 plus yung negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. So, kung nakikita nyo po, meron tayong negative 6 plus 3 and negative 4 plus 1. If you will simplify both addends, ang sagot dyan ay negative 3 and negative 3. So, nabago man yung arrangement or yung groupings ng numbers, the same result pa rin yung binigay niya sa atin. Ganon din sa multiplication. Let's say, binigyan kayo ng negative 2 times 4. So, yung magkagrupo nung una ay si negative 2 and 4 times 3. Yan ay kapareha lang ng 2, negative 2 times 4 times 3. Kagaya nung kanina, unahin ulit natin yung mga nasa parentheses. So, isimplify muna natin si negative 2 times 4. If you multiply negative 2 and 4, ang lalabas dyan is negative 8 times 3 is equal to negative 2 times 4 times 3 is 12. So, magkaiba man yan ng binigay sa atin na factors nung sinimplify, the same result na bibigyan niya sa atin. Negative 8 times 3 is negative 24 and negative 2 times 12 is negative 24. So, that is the associative property of addition and the associative property of multiplication. The fourth property is the identity property of addition and the identity property of multiplication. In addition, any integer added to the identity element 0 will remain unchanged. 0 is the identity element for addition, denoted by 0 plus a is equal to a or a plus 0 is equal to a. For example, 7 plus 0 is 7. 0 plus 3 is 3. 0 plus negative 4 is negative 4. And negative 5 plus 0 is equal to negative 5. So, sa addition po, kahit anong number ang i-add nyo sa 0, the same number pa rin yung magiging result. For multiplication, any integer multiplied to the identity element 1 will remain unchanged. So 1 is the identity element for multiplication, denoted by a times 1 is equal to a and 1 times a is equal to a. For example, 7 times 1 equals 7. 1 times 3 equals 3. Negative 4 times 1 equals negative 4. 1 times negative 5 is equal to negative 5. So, ang sinasabi po sa multiplication, kahit anong i-multiply natin sa 1, the same number lang po yung lalabas. So, tandaan nyo po, ang identity element ng addition ay 0 at ang identity element naman ng multiplication ay 1. Our fifth property is the inverse property of addition and multiplication. In addition, the sum of an integer and its additive inverse or opposite is 0, denoted by a plus negative a is 0. And also, negative a plus a is equal to 0. So, ang sinasabi lang po sa additive inverse is yung opposite sign nila. So, for example, binigyan kayo ng positive 1. Ang additive inverse ng positive 1 is negative 1. And if I will add 1 and its additive inverse, which is negative 1, ang magiging sagot po ay 0. The same as negative 4. The additive inverse of negative 4 is 4. If I add negative 4 and 4, the result is still 0. If you were given positive 20, the additive inverse of positive 20 is negative 20. Add both numbers, the result is 0. In multiplication, the product of an integer and its multiplicative inverse, or commonly known as the reciprocal, is 1. Denoted by a times its reciprocal, which is 1 over a, result is 1. Provided that a is not equal to 0. Bakit po bawal mag-0? Dahil po pag naging 0 ang ating a, we will have an indeterminate result. For example, you were given 3. What is the multiplicative inverse or reciprocal of 3? That is 1/3 or 1 over 3. Multiply 3 and 1/3, the result is 1. The same with negative 4. The multiplicative inverse of negative 4 is negative 1/4. If you multiply negative 4 and negative 1/4, the result is 1. For the last property, we have the distributive property of multiplication over addition, or simply called DPMA. So what you're going to do with this property is multiplication distributes over addition, denoted by a times quantity b plus c is the same as a times b plus a times c. So as you can see po, ginawa lang naman natin sa DPMA ay factor na a ay i-distribute doon sa isa pang factor over addition. So, naging a times b, kaya meron kayong a times b and a times c. Kung medyo nalilito kayo sa ganitong sulat, pwede nyo namang isulat na ganito. A times b plus a times c. Pareho lang naman yung ibig sabihin ng dalawang yan. Let's have an example. So, let's say you were given 4 times quantity 5 plus 6. Using DPMA, this will become 4 times 5. So, i-distribute nyo yung 4 kay 5 at saka yung 4 sa 6. So, and then plus 4 times 6. Now, i-check natin kung the same nga lang ba yung magiging result kapag ginamitan natin ng DPMA. Kagaya kanina, unahin natin yung mga nasa loob ng parentheses. 5 plus 6 is 11 times 4. So, copy 4 lang. Is it equal to 4 times 5 is 20 plus 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 11 is 44. And 20 plus 24 is also 44. So, kung nakikita nyo po, nag-iba man yung process, pareha pa rin sila ng result. So, this is DPMA or Distributive Property of Multiplication over Addition. Now, let's try naming the property illustrated in each mathematical sentence. Number 1, 5 plus 8 is equal to 8 plus 5. Number 2, 19 plus 0 is equal to 19. Number 3, 8 plus quantity 2 plus 4 is equal to quantity 8 plus 2 plus 4. 5 times 1/5 is equal to 1. And number 5, 15 times 1 is equal to 15. Number 1 is commutative property of addition. Number 2, identity property of addition. Number 3, associative property of addition. Number 4, the inverse property of multiplication. And number 5 is the identity property of multiplication. Sana'y manatutunan kayo sa video ito. See you next time.